For the first time in this channel, we will be tasting stuff. Ooh, nice. Welcome back to Bottled Up. My name is Ian. Today, I'll be teaching you how to taste wine like a legit sommelier. So we are done with our 5 components of tasting wine. You know the components of tasting wine. Today, we'll be putting them to the test to taste some wine today. So as a general rule, you kind of want to taste wine the same exact way every single time. Why? Because practice makes perfect, and if you are blind tasting a wine, you now have a routine that you go through every single time. So you'll be less thrown off when you blind taste. How to taste wine is important because it teaches you how to look for quality. And when you use the 5 components of tasting wine, you are assessing the quality of a wine, and at the very end of it, you determine if you like it or not. So, there's that. So today you'll be looking over my shoulder while I taste some wine, and I'll be describing everything I do for you guys. So everything I do when I'm blind tasting, or when I go to a winery and taste, or when I just open a bottle and taste, every single time I do these things. I go over the 5 components. So these are the things we'll be looking over today. First thing, pour yourself a glass. So you don't actually want to pour yourself a full glass of wine. You're gonna want to do about 2 ounces or so, 1.5 ounces. Why? Because you can swirl it better that way. And that's actually really important. So every time you taste a wine, you're going over appearance, nose, palate, and your conclusion of the wine. So for appearance, first you want to look at the wine, right? You're looking for brightness. You're looking for color. If it's a white wine, does it have a lemon color, a gold color, or an amber color? If it's a red wine, is it purple, ruby, garnet, or tawny colored? And also, what's the intensity of the color? Thicker skinned grapes are gonna lend itself to a deeper color. Thin skinned grapes are gonna lend themselves towards a lighter color. Kind of like what we talked about in our tannin video. So is the intensity pale, medium, or deep? So now you have your glass with you, and it's about 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces of wine. And so this is another reason why you don't want a full glass of wine, because you want to see the appearance accurately. So the first thing you're going to go off of is intensity. Is it pale, medium, or is it deep intensity? This one, I would say it's a medium intensity. And then you want to look at the color. For a red wine, is it purple, ruby, garnet, or tawny? So this one, I would say it's ruby. So there's a ruby with a medium intensity on this wine. So you also want to have a white background usually. If you don't have a white background, then you can use any sort of napkin or anything that a restaurant might have, so you can look at the intensity of the wine. So whenever you're tasting wine, it is important to swirl. It coats the glass with the wine and also releases esters, which are a aromatic compound is what it is. This is how I typically swirl. Everyone does it a different way. I usually grab the base right here, or I grab the stem of the glass right here. And then I just do a circular motion like this with my wrist. Kind of do it slight and subtle. I do mine away from me. Some people do it towards them like this. I can't do it that way. I can't do it that way. There we go. Some people do it that way. If you don't feel comfortable swirling in your hand, you can always put it on the table and circular motion like this. The smaller the circular motion, the more it'll be your friend and coat the glass. So let's smell our wine. Couple things you're looking for. Is the aroma intense? Right, you're gonna look for a low intensity, a medium, or pronounced intensity of the wine. And then you're going to look at fruits. If it's a white wine, do you smell citrus? Do you smell tree fruit? For red wines, what kind of red berries or red fruits are you smelling in that wine? It could be red currant, red cherry, strawberry, cranberry, or black fruits. Then if there's vanilla or baking spices, then it could have some oak influence on it as well. And when you smell the wine, get your nose up in there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to have your nose touch the actual glass. You're trying to get an accurate smell, an accurate aroma of the wine. And next is palate. So when you take a sip, take a small sip and swish it around your mouth like Listerine, and then you can aerate the wine in your mouth as well. Then you'll swallow it or you'll spit it. Cheers. That's good stuff. Also, when I am tasting the wine after I swallow the wine, I like to breathe out of my nose a little bit, because most of your taste actually comes from your sinuses. All right, so this is where the 5 components of tasting wine come in. After you're done tasting the wine in your palate, we're gonna go over the 5 components of tasting wine. So tannin, does it stick to your teeth? Acidity, does it make your mouth salivate? Sweetness, on the tip of your tongue, do you taste a little bit of sweetness on it? Alcohol level, does it burn your throat? And all of those things are gonna determine the body of the wine. And then you'll be going over the flavor intensity. Is it light, medium, or intense? And then, how long is it in your mouth for? How long are you tasting that? It's called the finish. How's the wine finish? Typically, if there's a good taste at the end of the wine and it's there for a while, that's a long finish. It's important that it's a good taste and not a bad taste. And that shows quality in a wine as well. And then your conclusion. Do you like the wine? Do you not like the wine? Why don't you like the wine? Or why do you like the wine? This is your personal rating. This is not a point system, although it can be if you want. I'd like to draw a little smiley face on it or a frown face, and then I put some last remarks right there next to my notes. Or I just note it in my brain. So again, whenever you're tasting wine, you always want to do these 4 things. You want to look at the wine, you want to see what it smells like, and you want to see what it tastes like. And then very last thing you want to do is bring your conclusion. And then your conclusion of the wine, either quality or what the wine is if you're blind tasting, comes from the 5 components of tasting wine, as well as the appearance and the tasting notes. So this is where tasting notes come in handy. I'm drinking a red wine right now. So if I say that this red wine, if this tastes like fresh raspberries versus another wine that would taste like a jam or cooked raspberries, the wine that tastes like a jam is going to be in a warmer climate than the one that tastes like the underripe raspberries. And so this will dictate where in the world you're going to select your wine to be from if you're blind tasting. Chardonnay is a great example of this, because if it comes from a warm climate, then it's going to taste like pineapples or baked tropical fruits. If it's from a cooler climate, like Chablis, like Burgundy, France. If it's from Burgundy, France, it's usually gonna taste a lot more lemon lime-like. Has a lot more lemon involved versus a warmer climate like it would be in Napa. Chardonnay is gonna smell and taste a lot like pineapples. Maybe I'll do a blind tasting video. That could be cool. How to blind taste a wine. So, appearance, nose, palate, and your conclusion. And within the palate and the nose, acidity, tannin, sweetness, alcohol, body, those are going to determine your conclusion. And make sure to have a well-lit area. Natural light is best, and something ideally white behind your glass so you can see what the wine looks like. And that, my friends, is how you taste wine like a sommelier. Now all you need is experience. Go use this, taste your heart out, buy all the wines, taste all the wines that you can, and start developing your own Rolodex of flavors, profiles, wines, all that cool stuff. And let me know what you're drinking on Instagram at Bottled Up Wine. Let me know what you're drinking. I'm gonna tell you what I'm drinking. Let me know in the comments what you love to drink as well. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And you already know the deal. Drink wine, drink wide, and don't be a snob. I'll see you guys next time.